to my channel! Yet another episode with a writer, which is called Meet a Writer. And today we have an amazing, incredible human being joining me, and her name is Thiviya. Her username is Wings of Words Poetry. And I'm so happy that we were able to finally meet each other because we've been planning to do this for such a long time and we couldn't manage it because of the time difference. But now we're finally here together. A huge round of applause to Thiviya. Hi, Thiviya.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so blessed and honored to be part of this interview.
Oh, thank you for joining me. I've been wanting to do this with you for such a long time because we've been friends for a long time now, right? On Instagram, and we've been talking to each other, we've been supporting each other. So that was a great thing that you were able to join me today. So, just like I'm always starting the interviews, the first question that I wanted to ask you is maybe you can introduce yourself and say, like, when did you start writing and how did you start writing, and maybe also why?
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Thiviya. I'm at Wings of Words underscore poetry on Instagram. So I first started writing around 2019, 2018 or 2019, I can't remember, but usually those days I used to write just to cope with my thoughts because I felt like it was so difficult to actually understand my feelings. So that's when I just started writing on my notepad. And at that time, it didn't feel like writing, it's just me scribbling down, my thoughts. And then later on, slowly, I realized that it is something I actually like doing and I like sharing my work. So I decided to create an Instagram account on, I think June 2020. And then so far, that's been a journey.
That's so great. That is amazing. And I'm actually subjectively speaking, I'm really happy that you opened an account and then we got to be friends and then I got to read your poetry because I really also I can obviously see what kind of a sweet and incredible human you are because all of those are positive. They're giving people like the power to do inspiring them. So that's absolutely incredible. Hold on.
Thank you so much, Laura. Like, I feel extremely the same way about you. Honestly, this creating this whole Instagram account has been such a blessing, and it's given me life actually because like it's something I wake up and look forward to each day. So creating and even helping myself out, it has been really amazing.
Thank you so much for the sweet words. And I just love this connection that we have. And I like the fact in this Instagram poetry community, I love that we're not actually competing with each other. We're always supporting each other. We're giving each other pieces of advice or just words of support because we know that all of us are really struggling with that writer syndrome that we have, that we're afraid of showing our works. We think we're not good enough, we have a writer's block and all of those negative things that are sometimes keeping us from writing. So that's what I feel with you too.
Thank you so much. I feel the same way with you because, writing actually, I thought it's something that created a sense of belonging to others, but I actually found out it actually created also a sense of belonging among us writers and artists as well. So that's something that the connection is really important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And a question that I wanted to ask you is what do you want people to feel when reading your works? What is it that you want them to take away from your works or anything else? Like what do you want them to think and feel?
So usually my works, I always say that it's 98% positive, and the remaining is just I won't say negative experience, but it's just like reality. So I feel that through my work, I want people to gain positivity, hope, and a sense of belonging, and also awareness that these are normal struggles and reality that people face, and that they are also not alone. And whenever I'm here, you can always come towards me to reach out for help, advice, or just someone to listen to.
Yeah, that is incredible. And I love the fact that you said like that they're not alone, for them not to feel alone, because that's what I usually say when people are asking me like, why do you write? I'm like, I want people to understand that they're not the only ones feeling that way, because I'm sharing my emotions all the time, and sometimes it's hard because everybody gets to know how I'm feeling, but still,
Mm-hmm.
it's a way for me to show that um, other people around the world are not the only ones feeling that way, if you're feeling, let's say, heartbroken or disappointed or discouraged, because usually when you're happy, you're not guilty for feeling that way, right? So whenever you're really sad or something, you're like, okay, I'm the only one who's feeling that way, I'm pretty sure nobody understands me.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that you said that you want people to feel the positivity, but also the life as well. So, kind of a beautiful, healthy balance of what life looks like. So, kind of
Mm-hmm.
taking all of those experiences and putting it into words. But I wanted to know, do you only take your own experiences, or do you take some things like inspiration and things to write about from other people's lives as well?
So like you mentioned, some of it, or at least the majority, is from my personal experiences, while the rest is also from like, friends or family I've heard who are like speaking their story, but also I don't want to disclose like any, privacy and all that. So I try to write in a generic way while also captivating the essence of the whole story as well, lah. So most of it is from experiences, and also I get inspired by nature as well, like trees, greenery, sky, sunsets. So that makes me want to keep writing more and more.
Oh, by the way, skies and sunsets, oh God, those are huge passions of mine. I cannot
Yes.
explain. Yeah, I'm sure you know that because I've been posting it nonstop. But I don't know what it is about those. It's just too beautiful. And I'm like, sometimes I'm looking at the sunset. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm absolutely in love. I cannot stop falling in love with the sunset. And I'm sure you feel that way too.
Yeah, same. I feel the exact same way. Like whenever I see a sunrise or sunset, I'll be the first one to wake up and take a photo. And usually my family will be like, "You see the same thing every day. Why are you always taking that many photos?"
Oh yeah, absolutely. When we went abroad on a vacation, so we don't have a sea or an ocean here in Armenia.
Mm,
So when we went to, and I'm completely in love with the beach sunset, because it's so beautiful, like the sunset, the waves, everything together. So we went abroad on a vacation, and I kept, every day I was waking up and I'm like, hi mom, we're going to watch the beach sunset today. And she's like, you saw it yesterday. I'm like, so do you think that's similar? No. She's like, no, you saw it yesterday and it's completely the same. I'm like, nah, you don't understand anything. Just come with me, we're going to watch the beach sunset. So I really like doing that, and I really like finding inspiration in all of those things as well. But a question that I had concerning what you just said, has there been a case when you've told somebody that a piece of writing is about them? It could have been like you wrote about them because, let's say, I don't know, there was this experience with you and that person, whether that's a friend or someone you like or somebody else, or maybe a relative as well. Or maybe you took somebody's story and then turned it into a piece and then told them, well, actually, this is about you.
mm. Yes, actually, a couple of times I've done that. And usually I feel like I write for them, like maybe for their birthdays to like celebrate them and honor their existence. So usually when I write those pieces, sometimes I'll think maybe I just keep it to myself, but then I decide to actually give it to them, and like something they can look at and also appreciate. Because usually I feel like as humans, we always doubt ourselves and we always think low of ourselves. So reading about their own existence and absorbing all that happiness, light, is something that will really spark joy in them. So they'll usually say thank you, but why you didn't have to do this and all that. So, but I feel that from the bottom of my heart, I actually appreciate them being here and with me.
That is so sweet. You're the sweetest human ever, I swear. Like, that's incredibly sweet too. And I think that everybody would be really happy to receive something like that. Whenever I'm receiving letters or something that is just written by somebody, even a small message, it makes me feel so special. It makes me feel like they took the time to write it or to think about what to write. So that's a very special experience for everybody. I'm sure. And whenever you're writing something, do you have a specific atmosphere for writing, or just it's you're writing wherever you are and it doesn't really matter whether there's something next to you or whether there's music or candles? Some people say that they need some candles and some specific music to be able to write. What it is for you?
For myself, actually, write anywhere. So it can be from like being outside, being at home, or even the bathroom. So I think that for myself, I wouldn't necessarily need a specific like mood or set unless it's just like me and my thoughts, like what I gain from, looking around me or even my own thoughts. If something like sparks an idea, that's when I'll start writing. So, but I mean, I obviously hope to like venture out and try new ideas in the
Mhm.
future. So definitely like, I see like those Instagram reels where you like, put candle music and then people start writing. I think that's
Mhm.
something like so nice and aesthetic also.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's beautiful, and I love that too. By the way, I feel like I just don't have either the skills to make those cute aesthetic videos, or maybe even the atmosphere. I don't know. I always want to do something like that, but I've never done it yet. But I'm planning to do it in the future. And do you, whenever you're writing, I'm really interested in this as well. Do you plan a specific time, or it's just whenever the idea comes in your writing? Sometimes people, because of being really busy, they don't have the time, or let's say they're at work and something comes in, they're like, oh no, 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 I'm gonna write it later on. So do you have a specific time, like let's say I have to write today at 3 o'clock or at night or something, or do you just write whenever it comes to you?
So usually in the past, like when I first started the Instagram account, I actually like scheduled everything. So like Monday I must post something, then Thursday I must post another thing. So usually like weekends are my writing days. But
Mhm.
now I slowly ventured out into like just writing any day, anytime. As long as I have an idea, I write it down. And if I'm not able to post it, I'll definitely like post it the next time.
Our experiences are so similar. It feels like I'm talking to myself, because that's absolutely what happened to me. In the past, I would just, it's not like I wouldn't just schedule a time or something. I knew that I was able to write only at night, because only ideas would pop in my head whenever I had to go to sleep. I'm like, okay, I'll just write for half an hour and then go to sleep. But now whenever the idea comes, no matter where I am and what I'm doing, I'll just write it down. At least if I can't write the whole piece, I'll just write the idea so that I don't forget that I want to
Mm.
talk about it. So I absolutely agree with you. What do you do when you're in a writer's block? Because I don't know, do you have it? Do you have it?
Yes, I had like I think a few experiences where like I just couldn't write. Like, I forced myself to write, but I just couldn't at all, and I actually didn't know what to do. And then I just like realized that why am I forcing to write when it's supposed to be something that should come naturally? So I just let it be, focus my energy on different things and different parts of my life. And when I'm out of it, I just continue writing. So it's something that I just let time take its way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great piece of advice, because there are many people who are messaging me saying that they're in a block and they cannot write. And I'm always trying to tell them to probably wait a few days, or I don't know, maybe even weeks, because sometimes even I'm in this kind of a situation as well. Sometimes I'm like, I keep forcing myself, and then I'm like, if you keep forcing yourself, you're not going to be able to write. At least in my case, it doesn't work. So I don't know, maybe there are people for who it's really working, it's more inspiring because they're having that pressure to keep writing. But for me, it doesn't really work. So I start not really forcing myself and just
Yeah.
letting myself be for the time. And okay, but let's say you have an idea, but you don't have the motivation to write. Sometimes, I don't know, it happens to me that I'm just getting
Mhm.
lazy. I'm like, I know the energy that it's going to take from me, the energy, the time, and the effort. And sometimes, even if I do have the idea, I'm not motivated to write. How do you deal with it?
So for me, I had couple instances where I actually felt the same way. So for myself, when I don't have the motivation to write, I'll just maybe like for example, I want to write about the sunset. So I'll just write in my notepad like sunset, and then if I don't feel like writing it, I'll just stop it at there. And then few weeks later, if I get the motivation or I get different ideas, I'll write a new poetry or I'll go back to the same idea. So for me, there's also like a lot of drafts that are just lying there because I'm not motivated enough to post it or feel like it's good enough to be out there. So I think that's definitely like one aspect of struggle as writers we face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you said you had pieces that are left as drafts. I have those pieces as well. Or maybe there are pieces that are complete, but I don't feel like posting because I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So, what do you think you would do with those pieces? Are you going to work on them once again and maybe post it later on, or just you're going to leave those as things that are incomplete or something that didn't really uh, satisfy you till the end?
I think for those pieces, I mean, I would really love to post them, but sometimes you feel like it's not your 100%, so you must keep working and working on it. So I think eventually, after working on it, if I am willing to post it and it sparks like joy and like happiness that I'm posting this and it is going to help people, then I'll definitely go on and post it. But if it's something that I feel like it's not gonna do anything just being there, so I'll just let it be and let it be one of my another drafts.
I love that. I love that you're not really pressuring yourself as much as I do, for example, and you're not forcing yourself. Sometimes I'm like, wow, why just most of the questions. Sometimes I'm really pressuring myself to do stuff, but it's a good thing, and I have to learn it from you that you're kind of calming yourself down instead of just making it about forcing the whole writing process. And I have to learn it from you.
Sorry, my work is better.
Oh no, absolutely. That's fine. And one thing that I wanted to discuss with you is one of your pieces, and I took a screenshot of that piece. So
Oh,
it says, "Don't stay in a place that doesn't deserve your energy." Can you tell us what inspired you to write this, or what are your thoughts about this? Why did you think that it was really important to communicate this message? Well, you can leave out the private parts out if you
yeah.
sharing, and yeah. So just feel free to say anything that you want.
Yeah, sure. So, for this quote, if I'm not wrong, I'm not sure if it's from Monday Fields or just a regular poetry
Yeah,
piece.
Monday. Monday.
Okay, so for this piece, it's actually because like there's some instances where there is like friendships, it is not healthy. I wouldn't say it's toxic, but it's just like not healthy to be in. And some people also face relationships like that. So I feel that we should definitely know our worth and self value to like know that this is not right. I don't want to be here, and my energy deserves much more than this situation. So definitely, like I feel that this piece is definitely very important because it's something that everyone goes through, and sometimes love can be blinding. Even for friendship, we may try to hold on, but in the end, it's just gonna like bite us back. So I think that's extremely important to know our worth and value to be um like proud and brave enough to get out of a situation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's a great message to keep telling people, because sometimes we're staying in some type of relationships just because we're used to them, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
know that those really don't work like they have to or like they used to. So it's a great reminder for people. And also, I just love the idea of having those Monday fuels, because it just helps you start the not even the day but the week from something really smart, wise, and something inspiring, or just a piece of advice from somebody. So I just really really like this Monday
Oh,
feels.
thank you so much, Laura.
And I know you have a book, right? You have one book as far
Mm-hmm.
as I know, right? uh,
Yeah.
do you plan on writing another one, or are you in the middle of writing another one?
Mm, I actually thought about writing some like a new book, but I left it at that. It was just the idea because I feel like currently like I'll be going into uni soon, so I want to use my energy wisely, and also like I don't want to like rush the process. I want it to be something that's like 100% my best, and I can give it all my time. So I feel that for now there's no second book, but maybe in the future if I'm still in that motivated zone, then I'll start writing.
Okay, we're gonna look forward to your book. But about the first one, how do you? I've had the idea of having my own book, but I didn't have the determination or the motivation to say to kind of take it and gather all the pieces that I want to be there, and then turn it into a book. I feel like it's a long process, but it might not be. Just it's just me being lazy sometimes. But one thing that I wanted to ask you is, how do you choose which poems go into the book and which poems don't get the chance to be in your book?
So for me, I actually like my layout was that first I chose the title, then I chose what is it that my book wants to give to the audience. So that was my thought process, which came out to three different chapters: reality, healing, and hope. So actually for my poetry, I just went with the flow. I actually created the poems like on the spot, so they were like fresh pieces. So it's not something that was from the drafts and I had to select them. It's something that it was already like being created as I go through the different chapters of the book. Yeah, so it wasn't like too emotionally draining, because it's definitely going to be very difficult if I were to create new pieces and like figure out which one goes where. I think there will be definitely another struggle that I will have to face.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And I just love all of those three parts that you separated into, because it's literally what we're going through all the time. That's reality, that's healing. And the other one was, you
Hope.
said hope. Oh, I remember
Mhm.
love, but still,
Oh,
all of those three are so interconnected, and we keep going through all of those stages whenever it
mm,
comes to any experience of our lives. So I really really liked it. And um I love how you say that it takes a lot of energy and time, because even sometimes, I don't know whether you felt it or not, even sometimes writing some pieces that are emotionally hard is taking so much from you. There was this
yeah.
one time that I wrote a longer poem. I've never posted that poem because I'm the only one who has ever seen and read that poem. I don't know if someday I will post it or not, but it was too personal to me, and I wrote it. And after that, I felt like it was something huge came um, out of my chest. And then I was feeling so, not even empty, but I was feeling so relieved after that. I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, but it took so much emotional energy from me.
Yeah. Yes, I feel the exact same way too, because as like writers or even artists, you need to like take off so much of strength and courage to actually write and be vulnerable to your audience, to your readers, and like speak your heart out. So it definitely takes a lot of courage and emotional strength also. So like the feelings you face is definitely like normal and valid because it's something that is so huge and you're sharing it with the world. So there are also actually some pieces I wrote that I don't wish to share yet because it's quite scary for like everyone to know your story, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then it's really scary. And then people keep asking you whether it's about you or whether it's about
Mhm.
somebody else. And you don't want to lie them and tell them that it's about somebody else. But if you tell them
Yeah.
that it's about them or it's about somebody, it's about like me, and then a lot of the people who are following me now, the number of the people who know me in real life is increasing. So which makes
Yeah.
it kind of uncomfortable for me. I don't even know how they're finding my account. I'm not even promoting it on my personal social media or something like that, but they keep finding it. And I'm like, okay, yet another person who knows me in real life. So it kind of keeps me from sometimes posting the things that I would post. Because for me, writing helps me go through some stages of life. Let's say I'm feeling really sad and I'm writing about it. And after writing about it, I feel a lot better. But whenever I'm
Mhm.
posting that piece, when that and then people are reading that I'm really sad and stuff, they keep contacting me, asking me how I am, and I know that that's really, really precious, and I appreciate that. But I'm like, no, I just. It's just where the inspiration is. I cannot always feel happy and write about that. So I'm sure you'll understand that.
Yeah, definitely. I've had like times where actually I write like, the real experiences. Not that the positive ones are not real, but trying to say like those like negative experiences. And people will ask like, is this what you're really going through? Like, I thought your page was supposed to be positive. Why are you talking about such things? And I'm like, okay, now what?
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, but I don't know. I feel like we sometimes I have those thoughts as well, and then I'm bringing back to the idea that I want my account to be liked by me as well. Sometimes
Mhm.
I catch myself thinking that I'm only creating content for other people, and then I'm like, okay, hold on, you've created this account for yourself first, and then so I don't know. I feel like we should keep that part of like posting whatever we feel like posting
Yeah.
instead of what we should be posting. For example, with your positive comments, right? So sometimes people are like, oh, isn't this supposed to be a positive account? And you're like, well, it's just life content overall.
Yeah.
And life is not always positive as we as we've come to understand.
Mhm.
So, I think we can slowly end this interview by um, answering one question. So, I would love to know what would you give as a piece of advice to other writers who are just starting or who are really afraid of writing? They think they're not good enough or something. So, you can give one or two or maybe even three pieces of advice to those writers.
I think the first piece of advice would be, if you feel like writing, just go with it, just write. Because most of the time when you put our mind too much to it, we tend to overthink and self doubt comes. So I feel that it's important to just write, go with the flow, and especially be like genuine and also authentic to yourself, because sometimes we may want to put like a fake appearance or like to seem that everything is happy, and we are scared to put out our vulnerabilities or darkness. So I think that's extremely important as well. And also to just, as much as you want to give others, like try to absorb those light and love as well, because honestly, like as humans we can be too tough on ourselves. So I think, like as a writer, especially if you're willing to give out your words to others, it's important for yourself to also absorb those words.
That was both of those pieces of advice were incredible, and I mean it because I feel like even I needed to hear those, and now I'm like, okay, thank you so much for comforting me, for giving me so much warmth. And by the way, thank you for those pieces of advice because I'm sure that a lot of the people are going to relate to that, and I'm sure they needed to hear this, and they're going to hear it thanks to you. And Just as a conclusion, wanted to say thank you so much for joining me today, for giving me the opportunity to talk about your work, to introduce people to a whole new account, because not everybody who I don't know, watches these videos or knows my account knows about yours, and I wanted for them to know about your account because it's really incredible, and the person behind this account is just the sweetest human ever. So thank you so much for joining me today, for finding the time to do this.
Thank you so much, Laura. Like, literally from the bottom of my heart, it's such an amazing experience, and I wish you all the best in everything you do. And I
Thank
hope you continue being the light you are. You're literally brightening up the world one step at a time. So keep going at it.
Thank you so so much for the sweetest words. I'm the one who had to just finish on the sweetest words about you, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and trust me, friendships like yours is giving me so much energy, motivation, inspiration, and learning all the positive things I'm getting it from you and from friendships like ours, because it's sometimes the friendships, it's really important for friendships to be mutually beneficial, not just in the material way, but like you're giving something and you're getting even more energy, more inspiration back. So I really really appreciate you, and I'm really thankful to have you as a friend, to have you here during this interview, and for the opportunity to talk about your pieces, and I don't know, just your whole personal experience. And I'm so touched that you let me do that. So thank you so 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 much, and good luck with all of your pieces, guys. If you want to follow her, it's let me just to say it correctly, Wings of Words underscore poetry. So check her poetry out, because you're not going to regret it for sure, and you're going to just click on the follow and leave with her for the rest of your life. So
Thank you so much.
thank you so
Thank you
so
for having me here as well.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I had such a great time. It feels like I've been talking to a friend that I've known for years and years. So thank you for making this so comfortable and warm. So guys, I hope you liked this episode of Meet a Writer. Buddy new in the future as well. But if you like this, follow her, put a thumbs up on this video, and also subscribe to my channel if you like. Bye.